Hi, in this video I will show you how to put together the Joy gift box, which is an SVG from Simply Crafty SVGs. So in this video I'm going to show you how to put together this little Joy gift box. So as you can see, it says Joy on one side with the little ornament, and then we have kind of the theme of it is snowflakes, and then just a lid that comes off. So it's fairly simple to make. I'm just getting this caught up here. Let's put that aside. So here are all the pieces. So I use this, I just have this in this little thing so I don't lose it. So I'm going to be using this on the middle of some of the snowflakes. Then we have all these panels. So we have these panels that will go on the side and the top, and these that go around on the top of these patterned, and then lid, I have a metallic lid that I'm going to be doing, and then the box. So we can start with, let's go ahead and layer these pieces here. So this is going to be the color of that as well. So we're just going to go ahead and put that behind there. So we're just going to piece together a couple of these items. So normally I would just kind of go around this edge here. Then once we have all the pieced together items, we will go ahead and put together the box. So I want to be careful how I line this up. So I didn't line it up very well. So it's better to just go by the back because I don't want to see glue in this open space. And then we'll go ahead and this is how we're going to attach this. So there's 3 of these. Similar, so I'll show you how to put together one. So I just like to use a fine tip applicator like this with my art glitter glue. You just want to be careful that you don't get too close to the edges, because when you glue it you don't want it to show on the panel below it. And I really probably put a little bit too much glue, but really I just get into the centers of these sides. And then you can either put that down like that and do it that way, and then you don't have to worry about dropping it. Get it lined up on the edge. Now it is slightly smaller. That panel is slightly smaller than the border. The only thing I don't like about using metallic papers is that you got to be really careful about not getting glue on any part of this. So make sure your hands are clean or have a little wet paper towel so you don't get any glue on it. So I won't put together the other two. I'll do those separately. So we have that. This one is, this is going to go behind it. So we really want to be careful about how we place the glue here. So I just go around little openings lightly, because we don't want it to go through, because especially with metallic papers. So when we place it, what I would suggest is I have the metallic facing down. So it doesn't really matter what kind of paper, it's just the technique of doing this. And I'm just going to toggle it down. I just rotated it down. This one is pretty lined up with this. We want to get that on. So I had a little wiggle room because it's wet glue. And then we can put this border around it. So you can either add glue like that, or you can just put it on this. So I'm just going to center on this, not get it too close to the edge here. Then I'm going to start on the left here. See, because I didn't go to the edges, I have a little wiggle room to be able to get it in place. And I got a little glue on my fingertips here. So yeah, metallics aren't, it's always a challenge doing metallics. So I am doing the lid, which is something I normally would not do, especially a box piece. I'm not that enthusiastic usually with that kind of stuff. So I'll go ahead and put those together in just a moment. And the rest of this is for the lid, so we'll put the lid together next, and we'll put these on. So we might as well, let's go ahead, I'm going to put those together in a bit here, so they'll be ready. Let's go ahead and put the lid together. So we're going to go ahead and fold it. So I'm using, this is a cardstock, a Recollections, kind of a silver foil cardstock. It's not as heavy as American Crafts, but I thought it would be fine for the, I wouldn't have used it for the actual box because it's not quite thick enough, but for the lid it should be fine. So these just center in each section, so we're going to go ahead and put those on. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to put one on there. Then I'll go ahead and add the next, and then I'll be back momentarily and we'll put the box together. So now I've gone ahead and added these little panels, and I also added this panel, the one that we put together earlier. This just centers on, this is going to be on the inside and this is going to be on the top. So got that ready. So now we're going to go ahead and put together this lid, and then we'll do the box. So we're just going to line this up. So I'm adding glue to this tab. Then I'm going to line this edge up to the edge. Don't do it over it. And then make sure it's lined up on the top and bottom. Now with metallics, you'll have to, usually you have to wait just a little bit longer for your glue to set, depending on the glue you're using. And I'm being really careful not to get any glue on the outside, so I'm just going to go and apply pressure here. Then we can just fold that over, add glue on that second tab. And we're going to just fold it over, and it should line right up for you. You might have to just adjust it up or down. And again, we're going to apply some pressure. Make sure that's good and secure before we go to the next step. And with the regular, I like the American Craft cardstock, texture cardstock. It doesn't take as long to dry. It's just the nature of metallics, and me having to be extra careful. I thought it would look good in metallic, but it is one of those papers that you have to be extra careful with. So now I'm just going to start gluing these on the inside. So these little tabs on the side, making sure everything's good and folded. I'm just folding those inward. So we're going to do the first one. I'm just going to line that up, kind of angle it, and line it up. And then I'm just kind of make sure it's lined up properly here, that edge to the card, to the actual tab fold, not card. And what I like to do with these is just hold it until I'll add glue to the next tab. And I know that I have a little bit too much extra, so if you do use anything, really stay away from the, try to stay away from the fold, so it doesn't leak up. It's especially important again because it's metallic cardstock I'm using. Darn, metallics show everything. Yeah, This is not a beginner, a good beginner type of paper to use if you're trying to work with glue and you're not that familiar. Regular cardstock is a lot more, just matte cardstock is a lot more forgiving. So I'm not going to add glue to that last tab until I get this pretty much set in place. I'm going to wipe my excess glue off. So that's what it looks like on the inside. In the last tab, we'll just flip over and I'll reach inside, pull it back, and then add glue on the inside. Just so we don't have to reach through and get any glue on the outside. And then we'll just go ahead and reach in, line it up, make sure that I get any excess so it doesn't show, and then apply pressure with your fingertips on the inside and the outside. So isn't that pretty though, with the metallic? I hope the video shows it. So and then to make it easy once you've got it all glued, those tabs, we're just going to take this piece and put it on the inside. We'll have that other one, this one on the outside. Oops, we could add, actually I'm going to add glue to the sides here. It might be easier than doing, you can add it to the tabs as well. That's normally what I do, but I think this might be pretty easy to do. So I'm just going to line it up here on the inside. So the edges match up to the edges of this panel should match up to the inside folds of the tabs. And then we're just going around and applying pressure on each of the tabs. So again, you could have added glue to the actual tab. And normally I do. I just kind of knew how far to go in. So that's what it looks on the other side. And then we'll just top it off with this. And that covers those tabs. And it's square, so you shouldn't have an issue. It can go on either way you want. And once I usually have this on, I like to flip it over and apply pressure on inside. So that'll finish the lid. So the box is just a matter of putting the panels on it and putting it together. So now that we have all these panels done and the lid, so we can just put the lid, I'm putting that to the side here. We'll go ahead and add the panels. So what we want to do is fold these first, and that's going to help so you can see the edges. It helps center where we're going to center this. So when you add the panels, it can be on any side. So what we're going to do first, before we add that, let's just go ahead and glue the sides. So I'm going to glue this side tab, and then we're going to line this edge up to the fold. I just like to apply a lot of pressure. And then we'll just fold over this other tab right here. What's nice about anything square, you can just fold it over and it'll line it up for you. You might have to adjust up and down a little bit, but as long as you got the first one lined up fairly well, then it should line up. So this is a little bit off, so I must have just been a little crooked on my first one. But square things are very forgiving. So that's all. We're not going to glue it at all. Beyond that, we're not going to put it together quite yet. We're going to go ahead and add the panels. So, because it's easier to put them on flat than it is when it's together. getting the excess glue off my fingers. So what we're going to do is, let's start with this one, since this is the one different one, all the other ones are the same. We're going to make the space on the bottom just as much on the left and right. So if you can kind of eyeball it, left and right, you kind of want to put it towards the bottom. You could line it up to the bottom, but we want a little space on the bottom. So if you wanted less space, but the point is you don't want too much space. You don't want to put it too far up because we don't want the lid to hit them. So we'll go ahead and add this first one, and it'll dictate kind of where the other ones will go right next to it. So I'm just going to line it up, make sure it's centered on the left and right. I'm just pulling it up a little bit to give a kind of similar distance that's on the left and right. And because of the thickness of this, kind of applying a lot of pressure here. And then when we do this first one, if you wanted to leave it that way, but this is just a little ornament. So what we're going to do is just add a little bit around the edge here, a little glue around the edge of this ornament, and on the top, oops, I gotta clean that glue up so it doesn't get on anything. So try not to get the glue close to the openings. Just have to wipe my hands off really quick. Just make sure I don't get close. And so we're really trying to line it up so you can only see the see it's at an angle. See how that little loop for that bows for the ornament. So that's what it looks like. So the little ornament's in. So now we just have to add these other 3 panels. So you can put them any way you like. They're a little bit, if you want to variate them a little bit, they're all basically the same when you rotate them, because of the snowflake is symmetrical. But what I'm doing is, again, centering on the left and right, and then I'm just making sure it kind of matches where the bottom of this one is. And if you're new to our files, or if you like this video or this project, I would ask if you could just put a little thumbs up down there on the video, and or subscribe. That way I know kind of what you like, what you don't like, that kind of thing. And if you don't already know, we have probably, as of this video, over 80 something freebies, free files. You want to try those before you buy anything, and we continually have new ones every month. So just, you can do a lot of things just with the freebies. You see, it's important to line it up because it kind of gives it that line across when you have the box together. I'm just kind of going over my way. I had a little bit of glue there on the metallic. And we're just going to go ahead now and put the bottom piece on. So one thing you can do is just anchor it to one tab. So one's going to be on the inside, and one's, actually we don't need to anchor it because I forgot we have 2 of them. Sometimes I forget. So we're going to put that one inside. So we're going to add glue to the inside here. You'll see shortly. So we're going to insert one of those panels and glue it to the inside, which actually makes the box stronger because the folds goes around the panel. And then we'll put a panel on the bottom just to clean it up. So I'm just folding those in after I got glue on them. They'll go flat, and so you can see the glue. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I don't get in your view, but I'm going to go ahead and just drop that in and line up those edges to the inside folds. I grabbed a little section of this, so I want to make sure I didn't pull it off. So what's nice is you can really get some pressure down to glue those tabs. So that's, you can see I didn't get pressure there. So I can just reach in and apply additional pressure. But that's okay if it doesn't go, it's not completely glued. We can go ahead and we're just going to add this last piece. And that'll clean it up on the bottom and secure it even further. So it makes it clean inside so you don't see the tabs inside, which I don't think is a big deal whether you see the tabs inside or outside. That's not a big deal to me when I give away boxes. People usually don't look at the bottom anyways. But now we're going to go ahead and add this lid, and you can see there it is, the finished box. So the front is Joy, and then all the side panels. So if you have anything sticking up, you might want to stick them down. So there's that box, and then the red version. So we're going to go ahead and add just a couple enamel dots, and then we're done. So these are little glitter enamel dots. And I used one thing I do, a little tip, is some of the adhesives aren't strong enough, so if you add just a little bit of glue on the bottom, little dot of glue when you're putting these on, or whatever your favorite adhesive is, just make sure you don't move it around. Just put it in the middle a little bit. And then you could add a little tag to it, or to personalize it for Christmas. So many different things, so I'm being really careful here. So I'm being extra careful because of course I'm on metallics. So what we're going to do, we're going to just put the dot right there. Then it'll give me, rather than me dropping, just in case I drop it. So that's just a finishing touch. A little bit of ribbon, personalized tag. You could use gemstones like I did on the other one. They're inexpensive to purchase. The little adhesive. Of course, I always use glue on the back of mine, just in case. So there it is. It just gives it a little bit more. And you can make it different looks, as you can see. That's completely different with the red and off-white. So I hope you enjoyed this project. Again, if you did, please give me a little thumbs up, and I thank you so much for watching.